Well, best 75 out of 81.
Hello and welcome, fellow film buffs. I'm Zach Droll, and I'm joined by my co-host and fellow cinephile, Hunter Zack.
Most bodacious.
We are the box office losers. Take 3, by the way. Each and every week, we deep dive into the movie sphere and watch any and anything to have graced the silver screen and review them. This week, we talk about Bill and Ted Face the Music. By the way, take 3.
Hell yeah, dude. Awesome. Take 3.
The
Makes sense. This is Bill and Ted 3. This is the third take of the film.
Take 3 is because
the first one,
my computer hard reset.
Yeah, the first one you dropped. One of us dropped audio. I think it was you.
Yes. It was
Second one we finished, but it was too short, and then it got deleted. And now we're here, and we're gonna try to milk this one for at least 45 minutes. And if not, then I'll just fucking poorly beatbox or quote things for another 10 minutes.
Alright, so let's get into this overview. I
Bill and Ted.
will start the overview because I need to prove that I'm not illiterate. Fuck you, Hunter.
Hey man, you already fucked up the intro, but it's all
Eat my
good.
ass. The rulers of their future tells best friends Bill and Ted they must compose a new song to save life as we know it. That's the save life as we know it. But instead of writing, they decide to travel through time to steal it from their older selves. Meanwhile, their young daughters devise their own musical scheme to help their fathers bring harmony to the universe. I like this plot. I rewatched some scenes. I didn't rewatch the full movie again. But I say that this movie definitely
it's a
does
good movie, but I just
bring
watched
tears
it.
to my eyes of emotions.
Oh yeah, especially near the end, which we'll get to later. But it's just such a cool film because even though we did just watch all the movies like back to back to back, I feel like watching the first two when they first came out and then watching this 20 or so years later was probably a really cool feeling to have.
Apparently 25, but not really 25.
Well, yeah, 25 or so. I mean, we had Bill and Ted content over the couple years to keep us satisfied with the comic books and with just Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves doing the voices during interviews every once in a while.
It's like
but overall, it sucks that we did have to wait so long to get a new one.
So if you realize this, they mentioned like I think in the film itself they mentioned 25 years, but thanks to the end credits of A Bogus Journey, so those newspaper things were actually added at the last minute thanks to like someone, which is like the writers and the director were against that. Because they wanted to at least have proper timelines just in case there was a third movie. And one of the newspapers for the concert at the Grand Canyon messes up the entire timeline.
They also have a concert on Mars, which they don't talk about.
So yeah. I'm not sure if I can hear you, but you said anything?
Oh no, I said they had a concert on Mars in the end credit thing of Bogus Journey. It said Wild Stallions to headline Mars in first Mars concert. And then they don't talk about it in the comic book that came out a couple weeks ago called Bill and Ted Are Doomed, which is a direct sequel to Bogus Journey. And they don't talk about it in the film at all that they went to Mars to party with Station. But then again, I guess it makes sense because traveling to Mars to perform music is kind of fucking stupid, and they just probably threw that in there as like a cool little gag.
Yeah, that's probably what it was though. They probably, well, I'm saying though, just the Grand Canyon concert, that they did mention in Face the Music, it messed up the entire timeline.
What do you mean?
Like so, they said your concert at the Grand Canyon was 25 years ago. But I think at the end of, I think on the newspaper headline, it read a different year that doesn't add up to 25 years ago for the current time.
Also their kids are only 24.
I think so.
And they had their kids at the end of Bogus Journey, so it's a little off by a year, but that's whatever.
Yeah. Let's get into this plot. Hunter, do you want to read that first paragraph?
Hell yeah. I will start with the first paragraph. Thank you, Zachary. So,
Okay, yeah.
In the year 2020, Bill Preston and Ted Logan have failed to write the prophesized song to unite the world, and time and space are beginning to collapse. Their wives are unhappy, and Ted confides in Bill that he does not believe they will ever write this song. Kelly, the daughter of Bill and Ted's deceased time-traveling guide Rufus, arrive to take them to the future. They meet Kelly's mother, the Great Leader, who tells them that they have until 7:17 p.m. that night to write the song or reality will collapse. Realizing they will not be able to write the song in time, Bill and Ted use Rufus's time-traveling phone booth to steal the song from their future selves. However, their future selves are unsuccessful, and their wives have left them. They blame their past selves for their failures. Now, this is what I don't really understand. I understand, like, so near the end of the movie, they talk with Kid Cudi, and they talk about, like, infinite timelines and infinite Bill and Teds. That even though they time traveled into the future, like, their future selves are still alive. And I know Rufus's watch said everything makes sense in the end. Because, like, they go, oh yeah, let's time travel to, 2 years from now to see if we have it. And then the timeline isn't completely broken and collapsed. And in their brain, they go, oh, that means we must have did it. But then they find them and then find out that they didn't do it. The fucking future Bill and Ted should have just said, oh yeah, no, your daughters did it. Like... What the fuck? It saves you a whole fucking hour and a half of film.
That is very true. I think the biggest indication that they did do it was that the world was still in one piece.
Yeah, but then all the future Bill and Teds keep saying, oh yeah, we never got to do it, we never did it. And I'm sitting there like, but the reality hasn't collapsed. Like, I understand, like, the current timeline, like, having that Bill and Ted still around, because in their timeline, their watch is set to whatever. But the other Bill and Ted should be gone because time and space, reality, whatever, should have fucking collapsed. And then it's not until they reach their old selves that it fucking...
We didn't do it, but your daughters did it, and then your wife said, we're leaving you because you're not smart anymore. Bye-bye.
And then the film should have just been about them trying to get their wives back rather than them trying to write the song when it's so obvious that the daughters did it.
The daughters are going to be the ones to do it. Yeah. It's a very good premise. I think honestly, like, they did have a lot of flubs in the plot hole department.
Yeah, but that's any movie does that. It just happens. It also sucks when it's like that when you have a time travel movie.
Yeah. I just think though, like, hey, it was a good premise that they really like. It was probably a giveaway that they did write the song when the world is perfect. Nothing happened. Huh. But let's segue into our next bit of plot. I will be reading. With Bill and Ted missing, the great leader sends time-traveling robot named Dennis to kill them, hoping this will restore balance to the universe. Kelly travels back to the present to warn them, but instead meets their daughters, Billy and Thea, who decide to help their father create the song using Kelly's time machine. Billy and Thea recruit musicians Jimi Hendrix, Louis Armstrong, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Ling Young, and Gorm, a drummer from before recorded history. Bill and Ted travel to the year 2025, where they have seemingly become successful. However, they are tricked by their future counterparts, who try to pass off a song by Dave fucking Grohl as their own. Billy, Thea, and their band return to the present to meet up with Kelly and the time-displaced Kid Cudi. But Dennis inevitably kills them and sends them to hell.
Hell yeah, dude. This whole...
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the only bad thing about taking the plot summaries from Wikipedia, writing it from our heads, is that we do get, like, they do blow through a lot of the fun scenes, which does suck. But since this episode is a rush job, even though we do want to stretch it, it's fine if we, skip some stuff. But there's a bunch of cool scenes in this moment. I like this one where they travel into the future to find themselves first, and then Ted starts to become a drinker. Then we see them go to Dave Grohl's house, and we see a nice little fucking Dave Grohl cameo, and them speaking in British accents because they've been knighted and all that dumb shit. And it was just such a fun thing to see, like, Bill and Ted just be super duper successful rather than the first time we see them where they're just like doing open mics.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this in previous takes, but we do think that it was a missed opportunity for have some type of John Wick reference, like in the prison scene. They could have had the Baba Yaga tattoo on
I mean,
Ted.
they might have had it, but we just didn't see it.
Or even
it's possible.
Yeah,
but
or in the or when they first meet their future counterparts, and Ted was about to fight himself, he could have said, "I'll kill you with a pencil, I swear." I know how to do it.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to be. They're also not supposed to be very aggressive characters, at least in those movies. Because Ted is like the more docile one, while Bill is the little more aggressive. Not crazy aggressive, but he's a little more spiteful.
Oh, and another thing we forgot to mention, because taking stuff all from our top of our heads, definitely not from sites that were trusted and not trusted. So we see some Missy's back in here.
Oh yeah, she's back. She's marrying Deacon.
We see Missy for a third time thanks to this film. So here's how this timeline goes. Marries Bill's dad. Divorces Bill's dad. Marries Ted's dad. Divorces Ted's dad. Marries Ted's brother.
Yeah. Deacon came back. Not the same actor, but Andy. I think it's Andrew Bennett, and he's pretty good. I like him.
Yes. And also, not to sound like an asshole, but Missy aged like spoiled milk.
I mean, it happens, you know? What are you going to do?
She was so hot!
It happens,
and
man.
And then Hollywood got to her.
Coke.
Coke, plastic surgery, kids, Hollywood. Everything.
And let's jump to some of the Billy and Thea recruiting the musicians. They first go to Jimi Hendrix, and he's like, "Yo, fuck this. This is not how we're doing this. You're just some crazy groupies. What kind of drugs are you on?" And they go, "All right, cool. We got to get Jimi Hendrix's musical influence." So they go back and get Louis Armstrong, and then they bring Louis Armstrong in.
Which was a very fun scene.
And then Jimi Hendrix is like, "Yo, that's definitely not Louis Armstrong. You fucking weirdos. Knock this shit off." And then Louis Armstrong starts playing, and then, you know, him and Jimmy start team up with Thea and Billy to go recruit everybody else, because with Jimi Hendrix and Louis Armstrong, anything is possible.
I love the Wolfgang scene.
Oh yeah, the fucking battle of the bands right there.
And then that was such a good scene.
Yeah. You know what would have been funny?
God. Like
if they
what?
Right after Billy and Thea recruit Grom, they travel to right after Dave Grohl's house is invaded by the police, and then they recruit Dave Grohl. That would have been fucking hilarious. Because then we could have had a scene near the end of the film where Bill and Ted see Dave Grohl in the in hell, and they go, "Sorry for breaking into your house, man."
You guys at my house?
Yeah, I thought that would have been funny, but Dave Grohl only made a small appearance.
Hey, overall, it was like I loved their time travel stuff for getting the musicians, because it's like it brings us back to the original of Excellent Adventure, but not long and drawn out with 18 minutes of trying to get these people. It was quick, fast. Here's Jimi Hendrix. Okay, we can't get him. Let's go back and get Louis Armstrong. Okay, we got him. Play the trumpet. Boom. We got Hendrix and Armstrong.
They kind of recruited everybody really fucking quick.
It was nice. It was easy back and forth, bang, bang.
It was nice.
Yeah.
You always want, like, quick recruitments.
The Grom stuff was fun. Like, she sees them, runs away, and Mozart goes, "Wait, come back."
And then they get her. I thought she was going to smack Mozart in the face with, like...
So, I'm trying to think of, like, what was, like... Is there anything else that stands out?
Kid Cudi knows a lot about time travel.
Shenanigans? What was that? I'm sorry, because you cut out on my
I said Kid Cudi knows a lot about time travel for some reason and quantum realities and whatever.
Well, because he's a fucking station.
That's your theory.
Okay.
And I believe it because he says station for some reason.
Those nightmare fueled puppets are canon to 3, and Kid Cudi is a station.
And then we get to a couple Dennis scenes every once in a while, right before we get to our next little bit of plot where Dennis pops up and
Dennis
the cyborg, he pops up and he tries to kill Bill and Ted when they get into Dave Grohl's house, but then he accidentally kills Ted's dad, and that's when we get our first glimpse of death. And then he travels back to the present, and that's when he kills the girls and their band throughout time. And then he goes, shit. Oh no.
He's like, oh no. Oh no.
He's great. I think who is it? It's Anthony something is his name. He's great. Anthony Carrigan.
Like, the person who played Dennis,
I think it's
I can't
Anthony
think of his
Carrigan.
name, but I know him as
Anthony
Zaz
Carrigan,
from
I think his name is
from Gotham.
He's
Such
great.
an
I want him to be in
amazing
more
actor.
stuff. You got to watch him in Barry with Bill Hader. He's fantastic in Barry.
He yes, it's on
It's
my
on
list of things to watch.
It's on HBO Max, so definitely be able to check it out.
I know I'm gonna watch it later on. But no, like definitely like that actor should be utilized a lot more in both serious and comedic roles. He definitely knows his timing.
All right, speaking of timing, let's move on to our next bit of plot. Bill and Ted travel to 2067 and find their elderly future selves on their deathbeds. The elderly Bill and Ted give their younger selves a USB drive containing the fabled song written by Preston/Logan, stating that it must be performed at 7:17 p.m. at MP46. Dennis appears, but stands down upon learning Bill and Ted have the song, and regretfully inform them that he killed their daughters. In an attempt to goad Dennis into killing them so they can rescue their daughters in hell, Bill destroys the USB drive. This backfires as the distraught Dennis turns the weapon on himself, but Bill and Ted throw themselves in the way of the beam. All three are sent to hell, where Bill and Ted locate their daughters and the band. With the help of their daughters, Bill and Ted settle their differences with their old bandmate Death and return everyone alive to the present. This is a nice little scene. We get to see Bill and Ted reacting to why a robot is in hell, and then we get to see we get a nice glimpse of Death, because he's not in it that much in this movie, but we do get a nice bit of Death by William Sadler. So
Dennis is like, I can't kill you. I can't kill you. You guys have the song. Well, you know what? I still can't kill you. Well, you're gonna have to. And I'm gonna kill myself instead. No, you're not.
Yeah.
And then took him with him. And then this is when we learn Dennis's name. He goes, my name's Dennis. Dennis McCoy. Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I really like Anthony Carrigan.
God, I love.
We need a
this
spin-off
character.
of just Dennis.
No, we just need like when the DVD version gets released, we just need like a full like a special features of just him.
Yeah,
Just-
or any deleted
of
scenes
just
where
Dennis
he does
Caleb
more
McCoy.
stuff. Or if they do a Bill and Ted 4 with the
Yeah.
daughters, they have Dennis is their Death.
God.
Or Dennis comes back and talks to them instead of Death.
Oh my
That would
God.
be great. All right.
Okay, he's an amazing character. He's essentially a less annoying version of what kids have as the
Oh, he's way
minions.
better than I make it. What are you talking about?
He's an amazing character. That
He's
should
way
be
better than the
cherished
fucking
and loved.
minions. It's no contest.
Oh, of course, but I'm saying though, like,
I know, but
said
comparing
he's a
him
better
to the minions
version.
is just fucking lame.
Yes, comparing to the minions is pretty much a sin. But
I understand what you're saying by like
se-
idle.
fuck it. Now segueing, the group arrive on Interstate 210 at the MP46 marker. Just as reality is collapsing, Bill and Ted realize that Preston Logan on the USB drive actually refers to Billy and Thea, and that the song must be performed by everyone across time and space. They are joined by their wives, who have realized that they are the happiest in their current dimension. The four use Rufus's phone booth to create infinite copies of themselves across time and space, handing instruments to everyone who ever lived. Everyone across reality performs a song together, while Billy and Thea are producing. While Bill and Ted lead the band on guitar, the universe is repaired, and everyone returns to their proper time periods. This was a good scene. It's also a bit like weird on how do they know what proper chords.
Well, that's why they have all that synth bullshit, and it's also like just play your instrument. It doesn't really matter that it's good or bad. It's just fucking play. I think that was the point.
Yeah, but they traveled to where fucking Grog was, and they're like, "Hey, play this guitar." I don't think a cave person knows how to play guitar, man. Who gives a shit to comedy? That's not how you... I had a guitar. I gave up on it because you don't just strum. You have to like actually do shit.
It's a fucking comedy. Who cares about logic and comedy? Kid Cudi doesn't know that much about fucking quantum reality. Shut the fuck up.
And also, Kid Cudi's a fucking station.
That's your theory. Station. Hey man, when you meet Kid Cudi, ask him if he's a station.
Oh! Is that where the stations ended up after Bogus Journey? Because they didn't travel back to heaven. They didn't die again. They were brought... did they just form into
right now
Kid
in the
Cudi?
comic books, they are trying to build something, but they haven't revealed what it is yet in the 4-issue miniseries Bill and Ted Are Doomed. But by the end, if they build themselves into Kid Cudi, I'm gonna fucking shit. I'll let you know if they do that.
God. Yes, please let me know.
Yeah. You know what I just realized? That we did the plot before we did the notes. Oh, neither do I. I'm just letting the audience know that we will be covering notes on this right now. We did mess up the thing because it's our third take and we are very tired, but we will cover the notes in just a second.
And we also have our scripts preset before each recording on how we lay out our talking points. So before getting into notes, so I watched the Nostalgia Critic talk about Bill and Ted and such. I know like it's a very talking about him as in the movie review sense is very niche and point based. So he reviewed 1 and 2 before 3 came out, and there was an ongoing joke throughout the entire thing that 3 was either bad or just okay. And I'm like, are you serious? Like this, 3 actually is
3 is definitely
really
better
good.
than 2.
It definitely makes up. Yeah, it makes up for.
Not 2's not even a flub. It's just not as good as the first one. It's when you do a sequel, retread. You basically have to retread everything. I know you would mean overall, but it's not a flub. It still made its money back, and it's still a cult classic. The problem is it just wasn't as good as the first one. Like sometimes lightning can't strike twice, but when you do it a third time, it's really fucking good.
Well, because if you also look at it back in the day, so like when Bill and Ted. Excellent Adventure came out. That was
Excellent Adventure was 89, and then Bogus Journey was 91.
So at that point, a lot of sequels to movies of that era were destined to be bad. The only exceptions out there are
John Wick 2,
Back to the Future Part 2, Die Hard.
Did you just say Die Hard 2 was better than the first one?
Those were the only exceptions. No, I'm saying though, but those at least
I was about
were
to fucking
successful
fight you
and garnered more.
Die Hard 2 is definitely not better than the first movie. It is good though.
Oh, and Bill and Ted's budget. And Bill and Ted's budget was $25 million. I don't know how much.
$25 million is not a lot. This movie looks really good for $25 million.
Probably not much. Yeah. Yeah, and
next week's movie has a way bigger budget and looks like just okay.
Bill and Ted. Okay, Bill and Ted Face the Music grossed $400,000 from 1,007 theaters on its first day, and it went on to debut to a 1.1 million.
I mean, it sucks that they weren't able to make all their money back, but it's because of COVID. But that's the only reason. Like, if it came out in theaters, we would have seen it.
Yes, we
ended up watching it on VOD. It's easier for us to do that.
Yes, we definitely would have seen it. We probably
exactly.
would have planned
we
a
actually
day
went
for
to
us to go to
thing.
it. Oh yeah, we definitely watched it on VOD. Definitely did
Video
not watch
on
it
demand
on
is what VOD
Legal.com.
is. So technically we did watch it on VOD. Moving on to our notes section. Do you want to start it up, or do you want me to start it?
Scrolling down. I got it. Okay. Through the production of the first two Bill and Ted's, actor Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, along with writers Chris Matheson and Ed Solomon, right? Solomon? Yeah. Had become close friends through after their completion of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey in 1991. There was no immediate plans for a third one, but the four had continued successful
we all know that writers always have jobs. Keanu Reeves got really big, and Alex Winter was not as big as Keanu, but still did stuff, and he's more of a director now than he is an actor.
I still can't believe he directed the Smosh movie.
It's a little bonkers. You're
that
like, what?
Hurts me.
Smosh movie wasn't bad, though. No, we'll probably talk about it on here at some point.
It's not that bad of a movie.
I'm always down to do YouTuber movies, even if they're trash.
Yeah.
So, and I heard the Smosh one's pretty good. We're not talking about Fred. I'll talk about fucking
Fred
Logan Paul's airplane mode before I talk about fucking Fred. And airplane mode is hot garbage.
But John Cena's in Fred.
Yeah, that's the only redeeming factor, and he's only in it for like 2 seconds.
But John Cena's in Fred.
Because he plays Fred's dad. I don't know, man.
And?
More notes. So around 2005, during the red carpet event, a reporter asked Reeves if he had any interest in playing Ted again. Bitch!
Around 2005, during a red carpet event, a reporter...
I was just...
What was that?
I
can read it because
middle of reading
my first paragraph was short. I didn't hear you because your mic keeps cutting in and out.
You can continue reading the next one.
I know I am. Around 2005, during a red carpet event, a reporter asked Keanu if he had any interest in playing Ted again. With his response, which he responded positively to. This inspired the group to actually think about a third film. Conceptualizing for the film began between the four around 2008. In an interview with MTV in September of 2010, Winter confirmed that they had come onto an idea for the plot that they felt appropriate, with Matheson and Solomon beginning to work on the script with significant input from Reeves and Winter. According to Winter, we kicked around ideas for over the year and had always thought if we could make something, this was the kind of genuine spirit as the original without failing prey on kind of retro criticism or something. It was unnecessary. If it was unnecessary, it would be worth doing. And that we have finally hit upon an idea we think is pretty great. Even at this early stage, the concept of the third film had involved Bill and Ted having reached middle age and still set to achieve the prophesized music that brings peace to the world. The first draft of the script had been completed by April 2011. By August 2012,
Dean Parisot, and
Dan
he's
Prescott
the director
was
even in
attached
this
to
2020 film.
direct.
So they had him locked down for like 8 years, which is great. Yeah, look at the Batman movie.
It's
look
very
at,
hard to keep a director locked down for that long.
Yeah, look at the Flash movie. They still don't even know if they have a proper director. So having some guy signed on for 8, yeah, that's really good. Good for them.
Yeah.
While Reeves and Winter were both eager to return to their roles, there was little interest in the script from any studios. According to Matheson, the original films were considered culty by the studios and wanted significant changes to the ideas that had been established, or even reboot the series. Studios also expressed concerns that the first film was not distributed internationally, which would not garner a larger audience for another sequel. Finding little traction with the studios, the group began trying to appeal to fans around 2014, being more public about the existence of the script and their desire to make it, and to show the studios there was a strong audience demand for the film. Reeves and Winter confirmed that the film was still planned in interviews over the following years. Like, every time Keanu would interview anybody for John Wick, Knock Knock, Replicas, any movie, they were always like, so how's Bill and Ted going? And he would always answer. So that's always good. They emphasized that this was...
Well, yeah, because, like...
I think it is one of his
essentially
first
his
roles.
debut role, and, like, he still holds it. He still holds it in his heart.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, when, like, hearing that, like, a studio couldn't really attach to it, it's weird, because, like... How couldn't Orion attach?
Well, it's because
to
of the whole
or
international thing.
the
A lot
other
of
ones
movies,
didn't, really
they make money
like,
here, but they make
grasp
way
onto
more
it.
money overseas. That's why the Transformers movies still come out. They make like let's say the budget is $500 million for Transformers. They make probably $200 million here and triple that overseas in China. That's why Michael Bay films in China a lot, because a lot of his movies make a lot of money overseas.
Well, yeah, because everyone likes... Because if you look at, like, in a sense, with Transformers overseas, like, it's pretty much another version of
Gundam I get it.
To them,
but, like,
or even
I'm not just saying just Transformers, but just in general, a lot of movies do way better overseas, because there's more people, and they have, like a lot of, like, businessmen, like...
Well, yeah, that's like the...
Dude, apparently the Fast and Furious movies are going to go to space in the new one, so let's go.
I want to hit my head to a wall. I really do. I'm going to hit my head till my ears bleed. Hell, if by some shadow of a doubt, like, this podcast picks up traction and we get sent an advanced screening copy, or we get sent to a premiere for that, I'm going to legit die.
We'll definitely do a Fast and the Furious month.
I do not.
We'll do a Fast and the Furious month where we release 2 episodes a week to do all the Fast and the Furious movies.
That's where I draw the line.
Fast in the February. We got it, boys. Fast in the February.
That's gonna. I the only one I like. I like Tokyo Drift. That's the only one that will ever get my praises.
What the fuck's the fourth one called? I like the one that has Han in it, but he's not dead. 4, I think.
Too Fast.
I think it's just called Fast and Furious 4, and then the next one's Fast 5. I like Fast 4 and Fast 5. Those are pretty good.
I think it's...
6 was okay. 7 I didn't see.
Fast
8
5.
Wait, which one did I see? Yeah, Fast 5 was pretty good. I didn't see 6, but then I saw 7. I'm weird with the Fast and Furious movies. Anyway, back to Bill and Ted. So let me finish up my little. Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, the first couple are pretty poor. Let me finish up what I was talking about before. They emphasized that this was way more than just a money grab, but an earnest work. Solomon, speaking to Digital Spy in January of 2010, we have a script that we're really proud of, that we worked very hard on, and that we've done many iterations of, and we did it on spec, meaning we spent years working on it because we wanted to get it right creatively. This is not, hey, let's cash in on the Bill and Ted thing for money. This is the opposite. This is, we love these characters. They've been with us for our whole lives, Chris and me, and then Alex and Keanu. And we wanted to revisit them again as middle-aged men. We thought it would be really fun, sweet, and just downright funny. And that was Edward Sullivan. So yeah, that was the... I like it when the directors aren't just like, yeah, we want money. Not the directors, the writers. I like it when they're passionate about their characters and creations.
Like, It's nice. Oh yeah, because like it's because it shows that like at least like it shows that they definitely did form a
Mhm.
bond throughout the series because Alex and Keanu both kept in contact with Chris and Ed throughout the writing, and like
Mhm.
even like them as well, and even with Chris and Ed, they said, hey, we want your input on what we want to tell the stories for. And it shows that like at least that like they care enough about the audience and the
I mean, yeah, we
characters
might get
to give them
a
a
sequel
proper
with the
send
kids,
off
and they
if
would
this
only make
is the
small
last
cameo
time we
roles, but
see
this is definitely a good
Bill
send
and
off
Ted
for
in a
Bill and
while.
Ted. It's literally passing of the torch, passing of the guitar, as they say. This is a good movie. I like this movie. Due to their messaging, fans began various campaigns.
Oh,
Bitch. I was
it
gonna read
is.
the last little paragraph.
Due to their what? Due to their messaging, fans began various campaigns to try to influence studios to pick up the film for production. That actually is good. Like another like once again, like fans are the key aspect to helping a movie at least become what it is. If you give an example like Super Troopers, which is we will do
Yes,
probably in
dude,
April.
Yes.
For well, probably at April we'll probably do like a month of like pot based movies. So like like if you look at that like yeah overall like fans have helped movies get where they are right now. Like if it wasn't for people like who say hey we want this to happen, it wouldn't happen. Now segueing back into the notes, the movie's outlook changed after the release of John Wick in September of 2014, which starred Reeves. According to Matheson, Reeves' career in the prior decade had been lackluster with several flops, but John Wick had renewed his career and brought newfound attention to any potential projects that he was attached to. This included Bill and Ted, which included the Bill and Ted script. Two outside media investors, David Herring and Patrick Duggan, came in to provide the financial backing for the film, and by the end of September 2014, more Regis scriptwriters had begun while efforts were made to find a studio. Winter said that while John Wick did help draw attention to the script, it did not believe he did not believe the film was a fundamental to ultimately getting Bill and Ted 3 made, since they still struggled with long-term financial deals from that point. Instead, Winter attributed the continued pressure from the fans over social media to influence Hollywood that they came with news.
Well, it's because it brought Keanu Reeves back into the limelight.
Sorry for muttering through that, but yeah, John Wick did help this film.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the John Wick films were just
And also,
overall
it
fantastic.
made John Wick
we
more
got
of a badass
three and an expanded
as well.
universe, which we're still getting. We got a comic book. We're getting 4 and 5 filming back to back, and then we have a TV show being filmed right now. Well, you know what I mean, filmed right now. It's still coming out, so I'm just super excited about more John Wick. No, John Wick.
They're doing they're doing a Bill and Ted TV show right now.
They are doing a John Wick TV show called Continental, based off of.
I would like to know what you're saying, but you keep cutting in and out.
Oh my fucking Christ! They're doing a fucking a TV show based off the fucking hotel system in John Wick.
I didn't hear a single word you said, Hunter.
Jesus Christ! It's not even my fucking goddamn internet this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking light you on fire, Zachary.
Uh-huh.
No, my internet is being really good. I have 4 bars. Yours is booty cheeks right now. It's also because we're recording on Discord and not Skype. Internet. Discord sucks dick. Discord sucks dick. Discord sucks dick. Skype is
No,
better for
I have
recording.
full bars and I have an Ethernet cable. I am Ethernetted in.
Right. Even with the initial funding, it took several... You're a fucking prick.
Continue reading. Go to the next
Even
paragraph.
with the initial funding, it took years for them to make necessary deals for the actual production. Sullivan said many of these deals fell through at the last minute. We've been to the altar a few times. He said, we get rejected right about the now you may kiss the bride part of it. During this time, they had secured Steven Soderbergh as an executive producer, Scott Kumpf, who produced the original film, as producer, and affirmed Bill Sadler's intention of reprising his role as Death. By this point, the script was mostly finalized and known as Bill and Ted Face the Music. Winter said that the concept of the script took longer than it took. Oh my God, took us longer to get it made. In a way, it got funnier. Jesus Christ, that quote is just mishmash. According to Winter, they eventually had the sufficient funds with a studio ready to go and had landed Alex Libovici as a producer. They approached MGM to secure distribution prior to its release of a relaunch of Orion Pictures in September of 2017. MGM accepted the offer, which Winter said due to them having a complete package of production ready for them and the backing of the fans. The film was formally greenlit in May of 2018, with production handled by Hammerstone Studios. Along with Soderbergh, Scott Fisher, John Ryan Jr., and Don Santilli were named as executive producers, while Steve Ponce and Krumpf and Livachi were set as just regular producers. On March 20th, 2019, Winter and Reeves affirmed that the film's production was ready to start and that they had secured a release date of August 21st, 2020, but then they pushed it back a week because of COVID. So it came out the 28th. You may speak now whenever you want, Zach. I finished reading the notes, Zachary.
Saying, but I can't. This is an ongoing joke.
I finished reading the notes.
Hunter, buddy.
Hello, Zachary.
I'm just gonna pause my end real quick. Oh, hello? Okay, I can hear you. I did not mute you, you son of a bitch.
It sounds like you did.
I can hear you typing, but I can't hear you speak sometimes because you cut in and
It
out.
doesn't make any sense.
Back and forth. I'm not editing. What was that?
I said it doesn't make any sense.
Because you probably have ass
My
internet.
internet is fine.
Or your microphone sucks dick on Discord.
It probably does because Discord sucks. We should use Skype like fucking adults.
Only boomers use Skype.
But it works because every time I use Skype, I don't have this fucking problem with my internet or with Discord.
Alright, fun. I'll download Skype for the next episode then.
Thank you.
I'll download Skype for the next episode then.
Thank you.
God. More shit for me to cut out. I'm probably not going to cut it out because fuck it.
I mean, yay.
Alright.
Lazy.
I'll read the casting.
Yeah, we're on casting.
Yep. Both Winters and Reeves were confirmed to be in the movie once it was greenlit. In May of 2018, William Sadler was confirmed to be reprising his role as Death. From the second film, in March 2019, Brigette Lundy-Paine and Samara Weaving appeared as Ted's daughters, as Bill and Ted's daughters, Billy Logan. Oh wow, fuck. Appearing as Ted's daughter Billy Logan and Billy's daughter Thea Preston, respectively. Kid Cudi was also announced as a cast member for the film, playing himself as he gets caught up in events for the film.
Station.
Anthony Carrigan was cast in June
Carrigan.
What was that? Carrigan?
Carrigan.
Carrigan was cast in 2019 as Bill and Ted's yet named adversary in the film.
Goodness.
In late June 2019, it was announced that Amy Scotch was to be returning as Misty, and Hal London Jr. was returning as Ted's father, Captain Logan. Other casting announcements included recast of characters who previously in films, with Erinn Hayes as Elizabeth and Jayma Mays as Jonah and Beck Bennett as Deacon, Ted's youngest brother. Among casting announcements in July of 2019, including Jillian Bell as Dr. Taylor Wood and the family therapist to both Bill and Ted's families, Holland Taylor as the Great Leader in the future San Dimas, and Kristen Schaal as Kelly, a messenger sent from the future for Bill and Ted. That's right. We didn't get to mention Jillian Bell as the therapist.
I'm gonna
she has roles
a
in
new site to get our plot descriptions from, just so we can have like a more in-depth plot. Because it's hard to write notes down and also pay attention to the film, which is why I wouldn't recommend us taking notes. Because the notes would be, Jillian Bell's in this film. And that would be my fucking note. So.
No, but hey, she was in Workaholics and anything else that had fucking the Workaholics crew in it.
With those guys. Blah, blah, blah. She's really funny. I hope she gets more stuff.
Yeah, she is so funny. She's a lot better in in a lot more kind of like raunchy roles in a sense.
Yeah, she's the bad guy in.
She has had
22 Jump Street, and she's fantastic in that.
No, and she was in Office Christmas Party as
I
the
didn't
pimp.
see that one, but now I have to because she's fucking a pimp. That's hilarious.
If you saw that or not. And she is such an amazing she has good comedic timing, but she's better in more of kind of out there roles.
Yeah, when she's grounded as a therapist
versus being a therapist.
She had her roles where
when she's
what's his face George Washington appears in front of her. No, and she starts running away. That was pretty good, but overall she didn't really have that much to do.
Yeah, you are officially dead on my end, so I'm just gonna
I'm not dead, I was waiting for you to speak.
Sorry for that brief pause, guys. We had technical issues. Mainly on my end, probably. Oh, great. Oh, okay.
There we go, we're good. No, we're good now. I hit the wrong button. Clap sync and then we can start up again.
Yeah, guys, that was a clap sing in the middle of the podcast. 48 minutes in. Yeah, okay, so...
hey, man, sometimes you gotta do it.
Off, before we all died, Hunter.
Also, in 2019, Backstage listed a casting call for extras to appear in as various historical figures, with help from Jake Tapper. A number of veterans supported by the Wounded Warrior Project were also featured as extras during filming. Part of the writing and casting for the film was creating a supergroup of musicians across time for the film's conclusion. Solomon, Matheson, and Parisot ran through some of the most influencing musicians and centered on Jimi Hendrix, Louis Armstrong, and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Played in the film by Jeremiah Kraft, Dazman Still, and Daniel Dorr, respectively. In the case of Hendrix and Armstrong, they were able to secure rights to use the artist's likeness for the film, but were forbidden to use them within the film's advertising, nor could they use any of their musical works. Christian Scott was brought in to provide instrumental performance for Armstrong, while Ray Suen provided both piano and guitar performances for Mozart and Hendrix. They included Ling Lun, believed to be the creator of Chinese music, to help diversify the group. And while the legends around Ling Lung identified him as a male, the producers opted to cast Shannon G as Lun to help round out the cast, given that Bill and Ted's series had never been beholden to historical accuracy. With Death as the group's bassist, they only needed a drummer and created the character of the cavewoman Grom for the film, played by Patty Ann Miller, a real-life drummer for artists like Beyonce and CeeLo Green. Tosin Abasi plays the air guitar riffs for Bill and Ted.
Cool. So actually, I was
yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
I as I stated in previous episodes, I play the wrestling games from time to time. There actually is a Bill and Ted reference in WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2019. No, actually, wait, WWE 2K19.
Really?
So in My Career, they two friends go like, "Okay, it's time to go on a road trip," and then they do the air guitar and do the sounds. And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Nice. Wild Stallions.
And it shows at least like it's
that's cool.
I was like, "What?" Because I was watching a YouTuber play, and I'm like, "Wait a minute," because he goes, "Wild fucking Stallions." I'm like, "Huh? No, wait a minute. I forgot this was in the game." Because I didn't get the reference at the time, because I didn't watch Bill and Ted at all. Nor have I seen it at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, until we made this podcast.
It's really cool, though. So, like, hearing that, so now we know, like, the guitar behind Bill and Ted's air guitar riffs. The K-Woman drummer has done work for Beyonce and CeeLo.
This is a real life drummer.
Why wasn't he in the movie?
I love CeeLo.
Because he actually could have been on Armstrong.
No.
Come on.
Let's not cast CeeLo Green as Louis Armstrong. Thank you.
Oh, okay,
CeeLo Green can be himself.
Put CeeLo Green in.
It would have been funnier. No offense to Kid Cudi, he was fantastic in this film, but it would have been funnier if CeeLo Green knew all about quantum space mechanics.
Like a smart dude, to be honest.
Really? I think I don't think either of them are that smart. But then again, Dolph Lundgren is a fucking doctor, so
don't worry about it. There were no plans to recast the role of Rufus, which is very good. I'm pausing right there to say that's very good. Because
if they had plans to recast him,
definitely you cannot recast George Carlin, who the late great, the person who broke boundaries. So there were no plans to recast Rufus, who was played by George Carlin, who had passed away in 2008. Instead, as a tribute, Carlin appeared as a hologram tour guide in the future, using archive footage from the original film, and Kristen Schaal's character as Kelly, Rufus' daughter, who was named after Kelly Carlin, George Carlin's real-life daughter. Kelly Carlin was also given a cameo role in the film as well. There have been plans to have the older brother Bill and the older Bill and Ted travel back to the Circle K from the first film to ask Rufus for advice, where they would have used contribution of particle set recreation and computer-generated imagery to recreate the younger versions of Bill and Ted and Rufus, but were limited by budget and time to make this work, and scrapped this whole idea. See, but it would have been weird though, because then why wouldn't that have happened in the first film? Because you had to think about that too. Not really,
because it all makes sense in the end.
Because if they were to do that, they have a small plot hole for the first one, not having them appear.
I mean, if they were to cast a young Bill and Ted, sure, but I think the young Bill and Ted would have been walking away as the older one showed up, and that's would have been their whole to
hey
fix.
guys,
what
happened now?
CG'd in there. I go, hey, what's going on? Why do you look fucking 50?
Age, Alex? And Bill,
how do you look somehow shorter?
Yes.
He looks the same but shorter.
Initial production and filming started on June 7th, 2019, while casting filming what's that? Commence, thank you.
Well, cast filming
Welcome to my
commenced.
life, guys. I'm illiterate and probably am slowly dyslexic. Who knows? The bulk of the filming took place in New Orleans during July 2019. Filming was completed by August 2019. Filming of the scene where Dave Grohl took place in Los Angeles. That's probably no surprise. It probably was his actual house too.
At his actual house.
Yeah.
In which case, that's a fucking nice house,
dude. Slow
dude.
giveaway that it's Dave Grohl's house. You could probably look at the albums that were on the wall.
I was trying to look at the albums to see if because I knew something was up. I was like, this ain't right. We're halfway through the film. They didn't do it. So I was trying to look around, but I didn't see anything. But then again, I'm not a big Dave Grohl fan, so I wouldn't have recognized any of his actual musical albums.
You just have to see.
I was just trying to see if it was like
or Nirvana,
like fucking David Bowie's house or some shit.
Just look for the fucking names. You goddamn toad.
Oh. I didn't see any of the names.
What the Bonetta United School District in Los Angeles, California, which serves the city of San Dimas, and La Vem, where the real-life San Dimas High School is located, has opened its doors to allow production to use the school on camera, although most of the actual filming in San Dimas for the first film was in a school in Arizona. Interesting. They probably use
cheaper.
I wonder what they used for the prison yard. They probably used the school then.
I was gonna say it looks just like a fucking playground that they fucking built walls around.
I was interested by this. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're a bigger music guy than me, so I'll let you cover like all the notes.
But rather than focus on hair metal of the original film's music director Jonathan Levy involved groups such as Weezer, Mastodon, and Lamb of God, who have been believed represented the current state of electric guitar. He helped them compose songs for the film, such as Lamb of God, The Death of Us, used in the future prison scene as Tosin Abasi, who was serving as the air shredder for Bill and Ted. Levy brought in his band, Animals as leaders, to play the soundtrack version of the World-Saving Song. In addition, the selected the musical acts, Levy also worked with Gibson to select the various styles of guitars that were used to represent various eras of music in the film. The soundtrack announced on August 13th, 2020, and will be published by 10K Project to be released alongside the film on August 28th, 2020. Weezer released a music video for Beginning of the End on August 14th, 2020. So that's cool.
Yeah. Beginning of the End is
I did not know that.
The song that plays at the credits. Yeah. I did. right when the song started playing in the credits, I went on Shazam, Weezer. And I was like, this song sounds good. Shazam.
So that's cool though that they had bands like Weezer, then Mastodon, and Lamb of God to pull in. I used to be a fan of Lamb of God when I was a very, very edgy teenager. No,
Wait, you're still not edgy?
Now I just listen to guys who cry about their girlfriends. So yeah, that's what I do now. Life imitating art.
Self-deprecation.
It's interesting though on how they got the music for it. It's good that they definitely that they went back from the hair metal stuff, but I would like to hear references from groups like Motley Crue, Led Zeppelin, Def Leppard, all those good hair metal groups back in the day. But you give
Yeah.
what you can get. That is it. That seems to be fully it on the note side. I will give my rating first. I'm giving this 10 Dennis Caleb McCoys out of 10 trying to fit in.
Yeah, no, I'm going to give it also 10, but I'm giving it 10 Kid Cudi's explaining quantum mechanics and warping realities out of 10. I love this film. This film is fantastic. The passing of the torch is great. The writing is fantastic. The jokes are still on point, even if they're a tiny bit outdated, not by much. But it's good to see the cast is fantastic. Samara Weaving is like slowly becoming like the new hit chick that I watch in all of her films. I think I've seen like almost all of them now because I watched this, and I watched Guns Akimbo earlier this year. Then I watched this. Then I watched the 2 Babysitter movies that came out in 2017 and then this year. And then I want to watch Ready or Not. Samara Weaving is fucking fantastic. If you haven't hopped on the Samara Weaving hype train, you are missing out.
Her because she looks very different from her role from Guns Akimbo. Since I was
because in Guns Akimbo she looks like she rolled around in garbage for an hour.
To be fully honest, I did not know who she was up until Guns Akimbo because like I thought. Yes,
I knew her name, and I knew she was like a Margot Robbie lookalike because I think they're both from the same place in Australia.
Like she looks like a very strong spitting image of a Margot Robbie. So that's what kind of threw me off for the Ready or Not movie.
Yeah. When I saw Ready or Not, I was like, Margot Robbie. I was like, she's not supposed to be in this. And then I saw it with Samara Weaving, and I was like, oh. And then I watched Guns Akimbo and Bill and Ted, and I was like, oh shit, that's Samara Weaving. She's fucking fantastic. And then I didn't know she was in the Babysitter movies until I started watching them, and I went, all right, I guess she's my new favorite actress right now.
Watch it. That's another film we'll be doing a review for.
Yeah, that is underrated. I fucking love it. It got like 6s, and I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, dude? That movie's at 10. I love it. It's just one of those ones where it's like it's so batshit and stupid and rewatchable that I love it.
But you can definitely tell by the cars, thanks to the license plates. Yep, and the license plates.
Oh, they're driving on the opposite side.
That's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, they were supposed to be filmed in like New York City or some shit or like Cali. And then they were like, whoops, UK.
But Bill and Ted is definitely this was a definitely. I said definitely. Oh my god! Take a shot every time I say definitely. Cool. So
you'll be dead.
Bill and Ted Face the Music. I recommend this to anyone, like even to older fans of the series who thought that this was going to be a dumpster fire. I recommend this. This definitely. This 100%.
Another shot.
Definitely. Proved itself right. It proved a lot of people wrong.
Did it definitely prove a lot of people wrong, Zach?
God damn it. I was trying not to say it, but I said it 4 different times in the span of 10 seconds. No, this movie proved itself like wrong. It definitely.
You can't do it.
It proved itself wrong. All right. It gave itself. It gave itself a motive and knocked it out of a park. It knocked it out of a park. This 100% is a good movie. I am.
I can hear you fighting.
All right, guys. Hunter, hit us with that outro because I'm gonna cry myself into a pillow.
Because you're gonna say definitely another 6 times in our 2-sentence outro. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. This has been a rough episode and a 3rd take / 8th take. Let's be real. This is like a very This is a long one, but also it's because we're fucking stupid. But it's okay. We love you guys. And thank you for bearing with us in our Bill and Ted trilogy. So you guys can follow us on Instagram at Box Office Losers and at Twitter at Box Losers. We have no updates for you guys. We're just Box Losers right now, which I think is kind of funny. You can check that out for up-to-date news, even though we really don't post that much on the Twitters because I don't use Twitter.
Like, promote
I don't tweet. I just
saying, hey,
retweet things.
New episodes out. Watch it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So mostly just follow us on Instagram because that's where I post all the art for like our episodes and a lot of that kind of stuff. So Instagram's the big one. We're finally on Apple Pods. I think we're technically on Apple Pods as of 2 weeks ago, but with this episode, this is our first technical one that came out before we got announced on Apple Pods. Whatever. Okay, gotcha. So you guys could leave us a review, subscribe, and share with a friend through Apple Pods. That would be fantastic. The only way for us to grow is for you to hit that 5-star button. Even if you don't want to give us 5 stars because you think Zach says definitely too much, that's totally fine. But we would love a 5-star review. And then if you could leave us a review, just say, great show, keep it up. That's all you got to do. 2 seconds. Thank you, guys. You can follow me at Scruffy Mooseman on all social medias and my podcast at Android's Amazing Podcast. I talk about comic books for like an hour and a half every Wednesday. Check that out. You can follow Zach at Dark Shadow Zake on, I think, Instagram and Twitter. It's the same one. Yeah. And then you can follow him at the Sports Hit List, where he is a guest host every so often?
I think sometime soon. I don't know.
Sweet. Well, because wrestling is on hiatus right now, basically. I mean, it's not, but like it is.
Yes. And to close it off, be excellent to each other.
And party on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, are you dead yet?
No.